your words aren't real specific and it thinks it's going to be $1 a month. That's, if you look at it in certain terms and say, wow, $1 every time somebody clicks on me. Well, one, remember, you do have a budget set, so it's not going to charge you more than $1. But if you think about the fact that it could potentially be $1 for every lead that you have coming to check you out and request a quote, then that's probably not too bad. There are measures put in place too to make it so your competitors can't determine what search words you're doing and constantly click and click and click and click and use up all your advertising budget. Google's smart enough to see if things are coming from the same place over and over like that, and they won't count against you. So here's our search for local agent, and again, since it knows where we're coming from, since we set our demographic of Michigan, and we've got that in some of our key terms, that put us right at the top there, so that's good to see. Insurance geek as well, again, pretty specific term, so we ended up right on top. And network running smoothly. So, with a little bit of practice, you'll be able to find out what search results are more relevant and going to give you better results. So then you can check out your billing summary right back at your page. Since there were no clicks, it's not going to show that anything was done. If there are any clicks, it's going to show you, again, like we talked about at the very beginning, which clicks were more relevant, what things got people to your website more often. And I'm going to show you another tool that'll give you even more information than that. This is not a Google AdWords tool, but just another Google tool itself, and this one is free, and this one's called Google Analytics, and it's a great companion for AdWords. We recommend that everybody have a good handle on how useful your website is, so you know what kind of resources you want to focus on it. So Google Analytics is quite simply Google's traffic analyzer. You can gather and view and analyze data about your website traffic. All you need to do to make your Google Analytics, your website Google Analytics friendly, is take a little bit of web programming code that they provide for you and put it into each one of your websites. It's going to show you where people are coming from that are coming to your website. Are they coming directly from your site from a search? Are they coming from an ad? Are they coming from a link on someone else's website? It tells you all that. It's a very sophisticated tool, and again, it's free. So, we'll take a look at our Google advertising account here. Out of all the different tools, we're going to go into our AdWords. We're going to go into our Google Analytics. And you're greeted with this analytics dashboard. So this gives you lots of neat little graphs and charts on just what's happening with your website. You can see we're generally at about a peak of 100 visitors or so at any one day, because it shows you different week periods here, but it does break it down and show you that per day on this on the chart. Site usage, we've got 1,843 visits during this 1 month period that we pulled. You can see in the top right the period that we pulled for this. We've got 2,152 page views. So what that means, if you think about the terms that I said before of, you usually have just a few seconds to grab people, and people usually don't go far. Out of 2,100 page views, that was 1,800 visits. So that means 300 of the 2,100 went to another page. Or it could be 100 went to 3 other pages, or 33 went to 9 other pages. You get the idea. But not a lot of stuff happening as far as people moving around the websites, and that's a common thing. That's why you want that relevant information on front. You can see it gives you 1.17 pages per visit. So like 1 in 8 people is actually going to go to a second page. Average time on the site, it appears to be ours is a little bit higher during this time period, and that was about 25 seconds. So that's a good thing if you can keep people on your site for that long. Usually if you're keeping them on for more than 5 or 7 or 8 seconds, they found something that's useful to them. And then 38% of our visits are what's called new visits. That means that these people haven't visited our website before. So the higher new visit you have, that means more and more people are checking your website out. It's not just the same people over and over looking for updated info. The pie chart on the bottom left, it tells us, again, what kind of traffic we have. you'll see that about 75% of it is direct traffic. And that's people that just know our web address, that are going to our website. 21% are getting there from search engine hits, and then about 4% are going from referring sites. So again, Google, the more times it sees sites referring to you, the higher the search rates you're going to get. Not you linking to everybody under the sun. It really takes on mutual links. So if you link to X company linking back to you is the best thing that can happen. It's those mutual links, if you going to someone and them linking back to you. And then under the keywords, you can see we've got our keywords blocked out here just for security purposes. But you can see it can show what different keyword results were relevant for people getting to your website. So if you have a different focus, if your keywords that are drawing people to your website aren't really the important things to you, you might consider retuning your website a little better to, better use the words that you want to draw them there. Again, that was more of our niche market or our focused demographic ideas. So a little bit more information. You can see what internet browser your people are using. Yeah, it's just kind of neat info. Are your users more cable browsers, dial-up, DSL, T1 people, and so on. But the really neat piece of data here is the actual demographic of our state detail. At the time we were running these reports, we were doing a marketing campaign in the Lansing area. So you can see by the concentration, well, that marketing campaign sure looks like it paid off, because we had a lot of hits to our website in that 1 month period from this area. You can see we've got a spattering of hits throughout the state, and because we are focused in Lansing, or we're based around Lansing and Sterling Heights in the southeast Michigan area, we got a lot of our hits from there. But again, since we have customers all over the place, we're getting people all over the place visiting our websites. So the combination of just knowing what's out there for Google's Webmaster Tools, using their Google AdWords, and then analytics to see what's happening, are just different ways you can get people to get to your website and see who's getting there and why. But again, it comes down to, is there a reason people even need to come to your website? People think it's cool to have hits, lots of hits for their website, but what is that really doing for you? Because you're probably spending your time and money and your advertising dollars on this stuff. So we want this to be a useful and productive time that people spend on your website.